When we're in the storyboard and you can see all of your view controllers, you can set them up to include different elements. But the best way for you to be able to control what is shown in these view controllers is to subclass the UIViewController class. So if we're looking over here in our file folder, we can see that I have two Swift files. One is the app delegate and one is viewcontroller.swift. This viewcontroller.swift actually is controlling this very first view controller. And if I want to be able to present different material in these two tabbed view controllers, they each need to have their own subclass of view controller. And the way for me to do that is to click on my folder. I guess here I've called it simple app, and then say new file, and I'm going to be presented with all of these choices, but I just want to leave it as Cocoa Touch class, and click next. And you can see that the last new file that I created must have been a UIViewController because it already pops up like this. And I could change it. So if I were to be trying to subclass table view controller or some other kind of object, I can do that. But here we want to subclass UIViewController, and we want to give it a different name because we already have one named viewcontroller. So let's call this one first viewcontroller, and we'll click next, and it's just going to create the file right here. Create, and we would repeat the same thing for second viewcontroller. It goes ahead and it pops this up, and what it's saying is now you can see your new file over here. You have a new class called first viewcontroller that's a subclass of UIViewController. And right here at the top, I can enter my properties and variables. So using mark just means that you're going to have a wonderful little outline of your Swift file in above. So when I click on here, these items that I've created with mark show up as an outline, which is really helpful when it starts to get bigger, and it just becomes habit over time to create them. So in my properties, I might declare a variable that is, let's say it's my text, and it's going to be some kind of optional string. I don't know if it has a value. And then in the life cycle, I might want to load this text into a variable, or into the label. So let's connect this to our storyboard element here on the first view controller. So when we look at our storyboard, on this first view controller of the tab, there is a label. See that label? We want to click the assistant editor here. That's all the way over the top, the two circles. We click the assistant editor, and it's not showing me the file that I want to see because I'm not collected the right thing, and I haven't set anything. I haven't set any of my view controllers to first view controller. So I have item 1 selected, and then I can say that it is first view controller. You see how that popped up? And now the code that I'm presented with in the assistant editor is my first view controller. This is the code that's now going to be running the appearance of this view controller right here. And I want to create an outlet for this label so that I can change the text in it, assuming there's some information coming into this view controller from the segue that it gets. But what we do is we select the label that we want to be able to change and hold down Control and drag it into the code. And what you'll see is it says you can insert the outlet or outlet collection. You let go and you say, well, maybe I'll call this my label, and I click connect. And what it does is it takes the name that I gave it and it puts that into my storyboard. That's very helpful. and it also has it here. So now I could, assuming that there's some value in my text, so if my text not equal to no, then I can have, well, that's not the way that it wants me to. If my text is nil, then I'll just return, which means escape out of here. Otherwise, my label text equals my text. And I think Xcode is going to complain because my text isn't optional. Yeah, so I'll just say that I know that it's here. And then when this view controller pops up, if there's data available, it will put my text into this label as its text instead of label.